Welcome to the channel, and today we will be counting down 20 gross Victorian era hygiene trends that you definitely would not expect. Movies made based on the Victorian era made us think that this era was the perfect time to be alive, almost too perfect to be true. Well, as they say, when something is too good to be true, it probably is. Before we continue this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and comment down below what other interesting topics you would like us to upload. Their bathroom waste was stored in their basement. Bathrooms used to be very convenient to use at the time. The only thing missing was the invention of plumbing. This meant that waste had nowhere to be carried away, and it was often stored at a big pit located in the basement of Victorian homes. Once these waste pits filled up, they eventually had the whole house smell like feces. The only people to clear these pits out were night and soil men. They would wash their hair with eggs and vinegar. Victorians loved taking care of their hair, but shampoo as we know it was not even near being created. That is why women used several eggs to clean the hair when rinsed it out using a small amount of water. Rinsing hair with vinegar was also a popular option. The city streets smelled so bad, this era was also known as the Great Stink. The Thames River, located at the center of London, was the main waste disposal in the late 1850s. As you can imagine, it left the city smelling like rot and human excrement. The worst smelling year of all was in 1858, and it was soon called the Great Stink. Women's fashion was blamed for spreading tuberculosis. During the 19th century, doctors believed that long skirts women would wear helped in the spread of diseases. According to them, these skirts would pick up the disease from dirty streets and lead to the spread of tuberculosis. Beauty products were full of deadly chemicals. Makeup and hair products were trending during the Victorian era, but most of these products used lead, as well as other harmful toxins to help in increasing their quality. They not only harmed one's skin, but also didn't have lasting results. They thought mouthwash cured STDs. At this time, oral care was not important, so when Listerine hit the market, it didn't profit as much. That is when the founder marketed Listerine as a product to clean floors, cure STD, and even cure dandruff. That is when Listerine finally became a trendy product. Many people did not wash their whole body when bathing. Poor families didn't quite have the luxury to bathe in a bathtub. It was common for them to rarely bathe fully. What they usually did was they washed their face, hands, crotch, and armpits once every couple of days to maintain clean. Men used rum as deodorant. Before deodorants were a thing, people had only limited options to cover the smell of body odor. Women usually used powder, but for men, the most common method was applying rum on their armpits. Although the rum was perfume-infused and made specifically to cover body odor, people would brush their teeth with salt. If you happened to have rotten teeth in the 1800s, the only method to cure it was by extracting it. Even though people were not too aware of oral care, they still brushed their teeth. The most common method for brushing teeth was putting salt on your finger and swiping it across your teeth. They bleached clothes in urine. Since urine has many bleaching factors, Victorian people had no other option than to bleach their clothes in it when they became too dirty to wash with just soap and water. Although this method didn't work to an extent, it left clothes smelling horrible. They needed to read books to learn how to keep clean. Victorians were having a pretty rough time finding out how to keep clean. As weird as it seems, they used to read a lot of books on how they could do certain stuff, like take a bath, wash hair, use the bathroom properly, and more. They believed you were sick if you smelled bad. Living in an era with bad hygiene, two things came along with it: bad smell and illness. So it makes sense that people would link the two together. There were a ton of myths when it came to this topic. People used to think you were sick if you smell bad, and bad smell was the cause of disease, and so on. Women used bandages during their menstruation cycle. Because sanitary pads were not invented yet, women had a rough time finding solutions to maintain their menstruations. It became popular to use military bandages as a pad to keep clean and prevent the blood from dripping. Prostitution was banned to prevent the spread of STDs. Prostitution has always been the #1 factor that helped the spread of STDs. Mix this with horrible hygiene and you get a whole city infected. This led to prostitution being outlawed in the 1800s to decrease the number of diseases floating around town. Most families bathed in the same water. The process of warming a big amount of water was very challenging during the Victorian era. This led many families to bathe in the same water as a solution. Families would bathe from the eldest to the youngest. They didn't use toilet paper. Not everyone was as lucky to use toilet paper back in the 1800s. Toilet paper cost, and not all people were willing to afford it. Most times, Victorians used leaves, reusable cloths, or just plain water to wash after using the bathroom. Chicken waste was believed to cure baldness. Even back then, people were fanatic about looks. Baldness was not much appreciated, and many used creams that would often contain unusual ingredients, such as chicken waste. Needless to say, these creams were more of a scam rather than anything else, created only for the desperate. People went to barber shops to fix their teeth. Since oral care wasn't that important, dentists weren't a thing of their own. When you think about it, the only dental care that existed then was tooth extracting. This was usually done at your local's barber shop. Quite traumatizing, isn't it? Radium was used to cure different illnesses. Back then, radium, a toxic ingredient linked to causing cancer, was used in different products and was thought to bring many health benefits. Simply having the word radium as part of the product title would boost sales. Doctors didn't often wash their hands after treating a patient. The number one reason why patients would die back in the day was because of doctors. Even though their illnesses could be treated, doctors used to cure patients with filthy, unwashed hands. They would wash their hands usually when they finished their daily shifts. So which of these trends did you find the most disturbing? Would you dare live in the Victorian era after watching this video? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and hit that notification bar to get notified for our next video updates.